Hi everyone, welcome back to Rabbi's Reflection. I'm glad you're joining with me today. We'll be continuing in our reading of Kitchen Table Wisdom by Dr. Naomi Remen. Today we'll be reading the story titled To Be Seen by the Heart. Stay with us as we read through the story and then offer some reflections. When we are seen by the heart, we are seen for who we are. We are valued in our uniqueness by those who are able to see us in this way, and we become able to know and value ourselves. The first time I was seen this way, I was very small, maybe 3. I had never met my godfather. He lived in another city, and when it was clear that he was dying, I was taken to his home so that he could see me for the first time. My mother told me that I was going to meet my godfather and that he was dying. I was so small I didn't get the time sense quite right and understood that I was going to see someone who was dead. I looked forward to this for days. I remember the details of this meeting very clearly, especially my godfather's bed. It was very high, higher than I could see, and made of a dark carved wood. My mother had lifted me up. Lying there among the pillows with his eyes closed was a very old man. He was completely still, and so thin that the covers didn't rise up over him very much. She put me down next to him, between him and the wall. She was talking to me softly, but I wasn't listening. I watched him with interest. Then his daughter called to my mother from the kitchen, and she turned away and went out into the hall for a short time to see what she was wanted. In those few moments, my godfather opened his eyes and looked at me. I remember how blue his eyes were and how warm. In a voice that was barely more than a whisper, he called me by my name. He seemed to be trying to say something more. I was very young then, but I knew that whispers meant secrets, so I leaned toward him to hear. He smiled at me a beautiful smile and said, "I've been waiting for you." My family were intellectual, formal, well-mannered people who were not openly affectionate or demonstrative. My godfather's eyes and his smile were full of a great love and appreciation. For the first time, I felt a deep sense of being welcome, of mattering to someone. His hands were resting on the covers, and still smiling, he slid one a little toward me. Then he closed his eyes. After a short while, he sighed deeply and was still again. I continued to sit there, remembering his smile, until my mother came back. She looked closely at my godfather and then snatched me up from the bed and ran with me from the room. My godfather had died. My parents were deeply distressed about me being alone with my godfather when he died. It was the 40s, and they consulted a child psychologist to help me over the trauma of it. Yet my own experience had been quite different. It was many years before I could tell my parents what had really happened and how important it had been to me. In this beautiful short story, Dr. Remen helps us explore what it means to be seen, to be truly seen by someone for who you are, and for your own uniqueness. She starts the story by writing something I think very profound, that when we are able to be seen by someone else who can value our uniqueness, who can welcome us, who can communicate to us that we matter, we then can see it in ourselves. I think that's so profoundly true. It's so often so hard for us, or we struggle, to see the uniqueness in ourselves, to see what we bring to the world, why we matter. But when it's someone else's gaze, someone else's eyes, someone else's perspective, when they can share that with us, then we're able to share it with ourselves. And this is also a tragic story. It's a story about her at the bedside of her godfather who is dying and then eventually dies in her presence. But this profound moment, or as I described it before, this tragic moment, is not so tragic for Dr. Remen. She has just been given a gift. her godfather looks her in the eyes, reaches his hand towards her, and whispers to her that I've been waiting for you. Isn't that the line that we want to hear from someone? From someone that loves us, from anyone. I've been waiting for you. I need you in my life. Your presence matters to me. You are important. And so while her parents and others might be frightful of this moment, might have worried that she was experiencing something traumatic and seeing her godfather die, she in fact experiences this as a transformative moment. A moment that she says in her early childhood is one of the first times where she is seen by the heart, seen by someone else's heart. And that was not necessarily a household in which she grew up in, where affection was not something that was kind of openly participated in. They weren't an affectionate family. And so I think this is a short story, but one that is teaches us a deep lesson. To be able, can we give that gift to someone else? Can we look someone in the eyes? Can we peer into their hearts? And can we tell them that they matter to us? Because by giving that gift to someone else, by offering that generosity, we in fact then can allow that person themselves to see the uniqueness that they have. So I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed this moment of reflection, and I look forward to seeing you soon.